Sports.
We are Blackboard. We are Arizona.
It's a Saturday night in downtown Phoenix. That means D-backs baseball and a packed house in here today as we hand out the Archie Bradley audio bobblehead. Tyson Ross, the talk of the town last night after a near no-hitter. So it's time to get the offense cranked back up. The D-backs and the Padres on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. Game 2 of a 3-game set. The D-backs and the Padres. For San Diego, it's lefty Clayton Richard. And for the Diamondbacks, it's Zach Godley. Bob looking for a return to form from his first 2 starts this year.
Yeah, I think we were all shocked by Zach's last outing against the Dodgers. He had a 7-pitch first inning when he struck out 2 batters on 3 pitches and got an easy ground ball to second base. Walked 2 in the next inning, walked 4 in the 3rd inning, ended up throwing 40 pitches in that 3rd inning. Just very out of character for Zach. Could not find the strike zone, couldn't find a release point.
Well, we mentioned the near no-no by Tyson Ross here last night. The Diamondbacks offensively a little short-handed without A.J. Pollock and Chris Owings. This was from the other night. They are both back in the lineup today.
Boy, and that is great news. What could have been just absolutely a horrible collision out there in right center, and Chris Owings was basically unavailable last night. A.J. Pollock only for pinch running and defense, but both guys back in the lineup tonight.
Time to get back on the winning track. It's the D-backs and the Padres on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By APS. APS works 24/7 to keep you plugged in, powered up, and connected. By Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. is brought to you by Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. And by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks, only at Jack in the Box. A beautiful day in the Valley today. Zach Godley on the mound tonight. We're at Chase Field, moments away from the D-backs and the Padres on Fox Sports Arizona. Field with the roof closed to begin our game tonight. It will open at some point over the course of the ball game. Very comfortable inside. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, Kate Longworth, Oscar Soria, and Rodrigo Lopez along the way on the Spanish side. Fox Sports Arizona Plus. It's game 2 of this 3-game set. There's the Bulls. Zach Godley as the D-backs host the San Diego Padres, who have chosen this series to get healthier. They got Will Myers back from the DL yesterday. Myers had a couple of hits. He's out of the lineup tonight. And before the game today, they get Manuel Margot back. He's leading off the Padres lineup, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Yeah, Margot back off the disabled list. Hunter Renfroe goes on the DL. Manuel Margot will lead it off out in center field. Jose Pereira in left field. Eric Hosmer at first base. Christian Villanueva down at third. It'll be Franchi Cordero out in right field tonight. Freddie Galvis at shortstop. Carlos Asuaje at second base, with Austin Hedges doing the catching for lefty Clayton Richard.
Your Ram truck starter for the D-backs is Zach Godley, pitching today on his 28th birthday. 2-1 in 3 starts, couple of dominant outings in wins over the Dodgers and the Giants, but then a loss in LA Sunday when he walked 6 batters in 4 innings.
And very similar to the pattern he set last year, throwing a lot of curveballs. Almost 40% of his pitches this year have been curveballs. Only Lance McCullers of the Astros has thrown for a higher percentage of his pitches.
Let's take a look around the diamond at the Diamondbacks defense, brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Boy, is it great to see Chris Owens back in the lineup so quickly. That could have been disastrous out in right center field the other night. A.J. Pollock will be in center field. David Peralta over in left. It'll be Devin Marrero and Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield, with Ketel Marte and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. John Ryan Murphy behind the plate tonight for the Bulls. Zach Godley.
Mike DeMuro calling the balls and strikes. He's our plate umpire. Chad Whitson's at first base, Mark Wegner at second, and Jim Reynolds is at third. And before we get going, Bob, it's time for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, this applies to Zach Godley as well as the entire team. Get back on track. Last night was the first game of a series the Diamondbacks have lost this year, and as we mentioned, Zach Godley's last outing against the Dodgers was one he'd like to forget. Need to get him back on track tonight.
Manuel Margot activated from the DL before the game tonight. He's been out with bruised ribs, and he'll lead it off for San Diego. They have Margot in center field last night. Tyson Ross might have his no-hitter. An excellent defensive center fielder. 159 with 1 home run. He's been out since last Tuesday.
Margot, a good guy to keep off the bases. 4 of his 5 minor league seasons, he stole 30 bases or more. He had 17 steals last year for the Padres here in the major leagues.
Still a youngster, only 23 years old. Good location on that fastball from Godley, and he's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes. Margot, before he was hit by a pitch April 10th at Coors Field, had hit safely in 3 straight games and 5 of 6. Swing and a miss at the Godley curveball, and that might be a recurring theme here tonight.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. Well located 2-strike curveball that time. Starts it pretty much right in the middle of the strike zone, mid thighs, and the ball ends up nearly in the dirt. Just a devastating curveball.
Jose Pirela, 264. He's knocked in 10 runs. 0 for 3 with a walk last night. One remarkable thing about Zack Godley's loss at Dodger Stadium Sunday is that it could not have started off any better. He had a 7-pitch first inning and looked exactly like the guy who was completely dominant in his first 2 starts of the year. But then things quickly evaporated. A 24-pitch second inning, and then Zack had a 41-pitch third. He just couldn't throw a strike.
As good as he was in that first inning, it just left him. I mean, he was throwing the ball on the corners with great movement in that first inning, jumping ahead in counts, and after that first inning, he just could not find a release point to get the ball close enough to the strike zone, even to get some swing attempts.
Well, he's got John Ryan Murphy back there today. Everything Zack Godley throws moves, so sometimes it's just hard to control and command. Behind on Pirela, 2-1. Eric Hosmer on deck. Breaking balls in there, says Mike DeMuro, and it's 2-2. Crowd is into it. Big crowd here tonight on the Archie Bradley bobblehead night. Hosmer will be next. Oh, just got a piece of that curveball.
Well, this is the kind of night you'd like to put a quick 0 on the board in the top of the first and get these fans involved in the ball game. Get some runners on base. Get that merry-go-round going early.
Get some noise going in here. Tried another curveball, spiked it. It's full 3-2. Pirela hitless in his last 4 games. He's in an 0 for 17 skid right now, the longest drought of his career. Low tapper. Marrero's got to hurry here. No chance to get Pirela, who runs well. Just a swing and bunt, a 1-out single.
Yeah, I'll tell you, some footwear on Zack Godley tonight, changing up his game out there a little bit. It looks like a pair of PF Flyers with cleats on the bottom.
The old Chuck Taylor high tops, maybe.
I think he likes them because they look like work boots.
Oh, you're right. PF Flyer, good call. Those are old school.
Johnny Unitas.
Good pull. Eric Hosmer, 263, couple of homers. Pirela's got 2 stolen bases this year. He's at first with 1 out. That showed up on our computer as a strike. A cut fastball. It's ball 1. Hosmer last night 1 for 4. He singled and scored a run. And that 3-run San Diego ninth. Hosmer, the big free agent signee in the offseason for the Padres, their biggest ever, in fact. 8 years, $144 million to come over from Kansas City. He hit the open market at 28 years old and cashed in.
He wouldn't bunt on his best friend, would he?
His
my
best
out-of-town
friend.
staff did some homework for me. My out-of-town staff.
You have another staff?
Yeah, I've got
Wow.
staffs everywhere. Devin Marrero and Eric Hosmer have been best friends since they were 8 years old. And they actually share a house in Miami in the offseason and have done so for the last 8 years.
So they grew up together.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that wouldn't be very sportsmanlike.
Be like drinking the other guy's orange juice or something out of the fridge.
Hey, where's my stuff? Well, of course, with the D-backs, Jake Lamb and Archie Bradley are famous housemates. Two and one on Hosmer. Hard cutter down and in. 2-2.
You really have to have confidence that pitch is going to do what you want it to do. He started it right on the inside corner at the knees, which is a really good pitch to a lot of left-handed hitters, and then had that late movement underneath the bat, sliding inside. Curveball. Uncle Charlie. Old number 2.
Yes, he went. Second strikeout for Godley.
Well, we saw the Giants take a lot of funny looking swings against that Zach Godley curveball. Just so tough to pick up the rotation. We talked about it with Tyson Ross and his slider last night against the D-backs offense. Well, Zach Godley has a breaking ball that's tough to recognize as well.
2 down for Christian Villanueva, the cleanup man and third baseman. Having a sensational start to his rookie season, .333, and leading the Padres in home runs and runs batted in. Starts him off with that curveball and steals strike one. Villanueva 1 for 4 last night. Had an RBI single and scored a run. Comes into tonight riding a career best 7-game hitting streak. Oddly fell off the mound just a little bit that time. We'll keep an eye on Perella down there. We've seen that a lot from Zach, more so certainly in his last start. Sometimes just sort of spinning and falling off the mound.
Yeah, it was excessive in that start at Dodger Stadium. I mean, there were times he was on a dead sprint toward first base, almost like he was covering the bag on a ground ball to the right side, just falling off the mound hard to the first base side.
Villanueva dunks it into left center. 2 on and 2 out. So he's now hit safely in 8 straight. That brings up Franchy Cordero, who made highlight reels all over the major leagues last night by hitting this 4th inning off Matt Cook. 489 feet, the 3rd longest home run in Chase Field history.
It sounded like it and certainly looked like it. Hit that speaker just to the right of the big board out there in center field.
Cordero 206 and 3 homers. He's in right field tonight. Will Myers not the starting lineup.
I'd like to see Cordero hit one like that at Dodger Stadium. He might take out the Death Star.
Fingers crossed. Almost broke our speaker here last night. Andy Green was saying Cordero's got an electric bat, a young guy with a ton of power, always hits the ball hard. It hit just to the left of the speaker out there. There's Greeny. Already a 20 pitch first for Godley. Perela at second and Villanueva at first. Dropped it in right there. Strike one. Longest homers in this ballpark. Adam Dunn and Richie Sexson. Cordero suddenly third. 489. An exit velocity of 116 miles an hour off the bat.
Cameron Maben fifth on that list.
How about that, huh?
Yeah, just goes to show you square one up, catch it on the barrel, have the right launch angle and exit velocity and all that good stuff. Anybody can hit them out.
Off the plate, but got the call for Mike DeMuro, and it's 1-2. Another case of Zach falling off the side of the mound there. He missed badly with a curveball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Freddie Galvis would be next. Two on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is hit deep to center field. A.J. Pollock looking up, and it's off the wall. Perela and Villanueva both score. Cordero heading for third. They got him hung up. And he's in there safely. It's 2-0 San Diego.
I saw Torrey with his hand up right there. They want to take a quick look at it on the replay. What looked like a boneheaded base running play by Cordero turned out to be a boneheaded defensive play by the Diamondbacks. Got to get that guy. Had him dead to rights in the rundown.
And Torrey was extremely disappointed in the D-backs defense last night, especially that sloppy 9th inning. Here's another look.
All curveballs to Cordero that at bat. He finally timed one up and bangs it off the wall out there in center field. AJ plays it well, hit just below the yellow stripe. There's the tail end of that play. Looked like Marte fanned on the first tag, tried to get him coming off the bag. But in the estimation of the umpire out there at second base, he avoided the tag in the safe and stayed on the bag at second.
No challenge from the D-backs. So it's a 2-run double, a 2-0 Padre lead. Cordero at second. And the batter is the shortstop, Freddie Galvis. Boy, that just missed another home run. Cordero heads for third. It rolls behind Murphy. And it's a runner at third now for the Padres. And a 25 pitch first and still counting for Zach Godley. Some discussion here with Galvis maybe saying it hit him. Here comes Andy Green.
Initially it looked like DeMuro was calling foul tip.
He might be saying it hit the knob of the bat, and Galvis is saying it hit me on the hand.
Well, Galvis looks like he wants to continue the at bat. I think he's trying to tell the home plate umpire it didn't hit him.
Mark Wegner, the crew chief there, number 14, steps in. Plate umpires Mike DeMuro. Well, it's an 0-1 count on Galvis.
Yeah, just from the body language there, it looks like it hit the knob of the bat. They called a foul ball.
So that means Cordero has to go back to second base. And we play on. Roller up the line. Goldie to Godley, and that ends the inning. Padres take the early lead. D-backs coming up. D-backs trailing early. The early lead for your Ram truck starter for the Padres. It's the veteran lefty Clayton Richard. The last few seasons, one of the better ground ball pitchers in the league. 1-1 in 4 starts, and ERA just under 6 this year.
That sinker curveball combination induces a lot of ground balls when Richard's on the mound. They've seen a lot of him over the last few years.
David Peralta will lead it off for the D-backs. David in there, 333 with 2 home runs. Clayton Richard now 34. He's made a few mechanical changes over the years. Let's take a look at the D-backs lineup. That's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealer.
Peralta leading it off out in left field. Marte will be at second base with Goldie at first. A.J. Pollock back in the lineup in center field along with Chris Owings in right field. Nick Ahmed at short. Devin Marrero at third base with John Ryan Murphy doing the catching for Zach Godley.
You'll notice Richard working from the far first base side of the rubber, and he's dropped down with that arm slide. Kind of flings it at you from the left-hand side. And he strikes out Peralta. Let's look around the diamond at the Padres defensively. That's brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Manuel Margot in center, flanked by Jose Pirela in left. Frenchy Cordero in right. It'll be Villanueva and Galvis on the left side of the infield. Asuaje and Hosmer on the right side, with Hedges doing the catching for left-hander Clayton Richard.
Ketel Marte from the right side, the switch hitter, 225 and 1 home run. There's a fastball, and it's 0-1. Marte 0 for 4 last night. Clayton Richard has become sort of the patriarchal figure on this Padres staff. He was San Diego's opening day starter, first time in his career that he's had that honor. A decade in the big leagues. Late time granted by Mike DeMuro. So rather than just stopping, Richard threw a lollipop up there.
That would probably be a very effective pitch to some hitters.
If you could control it, you might be onto something. Yeah. Richard is a guy who's been through a lot. Last year, no pitcher in the league lost more games, gave up more hits, or faced more batters than Clayton Richard. Hello. I think he tried to throw another one there.
I'm wondering if that kind of made him lose his release point. I mean, the last 2 fastballs haven't even been close.
That one brought to you by Schwartz, teamidoc.com. Maybe get Clayton checked out. 3-2. Paul Goldschmidt on deck. D-backs have seen a lot of Clayton Richard lately. Faced him 4 times last year. They had mixed results last season. Richard was 2-2 of those 4 starts. He beat the D-backs at Petco Park in April. Then in May again in San Diego when he pitched a complete game, 1 run, 5 hits. He lost both his starts here at Chase Field last year. And once again, Marte making a nuisance of himself up there. Fastball inside, a 1-out walk.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Goldie 242 with 4 home runs. Last night the Diamondbacks did not get their first base hit until there were 2 outs in the 8th inning. The only hit they got all night. Tyson Ross was outstanding, and he really went right to the end. He was on E. 127 pitches in 7 2/3, trying to get that no-no. Just couldn't quite finish it off. That's like when you're in the car and you try to see how fast past E you can make the car go on the gas needles down at the bottom. That's where he was. Andy Green said he went out there last night and had a look, and he was pretty much the tank was empty, but he gave him a shot to finish it. He was outstanding.
Yeah, he really was. And National League hitters know on a given night when Tyson Ross has the good feel for that slider and he can throw it for strikes when he wants to, he can bounce it in the dirt, he can front door it, he can back door it. When he's got that slider working like last night, he is a threat to throw a no-hitter.
He is always tough on the D-backs. Goldie ahead 2-1.
And we heard Jody and Gracie talking about it on the pregame show. We've seen a lot of Clayton Richard, but his success has mostly been at Petco, where his ERA is under 2.5 against the Diamondbacks in his career. Here at Chase Field, it's 6.20.
Got his fastball in there under the hands of Goldie. 2-2. Yeah, that complete game he had against the D-backs last May was at Petco Park. This is leaking toward the seats and out of play.
Yeah, here's the numbers we were talking about for Clayton Richard. His splits against the Diamondbacks at Petco, very good. 6-2 with a 245. The Diamondbacks only hit 248 with 3 home runs. At Chase Field, it's been a different story.
Yeah, Richard pitched here April 25th last year, nearly a year ago to the day. Survived only 3 2/3. Pitched again here June 8th. Gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, and 5 innings. AJ on deck. Back-to-back 3-2 counts for Clayton Richard.
Almost threw that away.
Well, Dave McKay has seen that move plenty of times now, with all the looks they've had at Clayton Richard.
That last one was a borderline balk. You have to step toward first base at a 45-degree angle or less. It almost looked like he went toward home plate that time.
3-2 to Goldie. Got him.
And it ends with a slider down and in.
Center field, number 11.
And Goldie frustrated with himself. Pitch started at the bottom of the zone, ends up near that back foot for strike 3.
Crowd happy to have AJ back. 254 and 4 home runs. Sat out last night's game. Fastball is in there for strike 1. AJ banged up his right hand a bit in that outfield collision with Chris Owings Thursday. Nothing serious. And Torrey was saying he was searching for a day to have AJ off anyway, so just decided to make it last night just to be safe. There's a fly ball for Cordero in right field. They've completed 1 inning at Chase Field. The D-backs trail the Padres 2-0.
Zach Godley on the mound. Now, there are certain games where players are just a little bit more amped up for than others, whether it's played in their hometown in front of family or friends, maybe it's their bobblehead night or their birthday. And so tonight, with that extra energy, Zach Godley trying to harness it as he celebrates his 28th birthday on the mound, pitching for the first time on his birthday. And one guy who's had his eye on what Godley has been able to accomplish over the year is Matt Cook. He, of course, has stepped up in that spot start for Walker last night. Very impressive. And I had a chance to talk with the young righty, and he told me he watched what Zach was able to do last year and how his numbers solidified him a spot in the rotation. Matt hoping for the same, and so far so good. Torrey said he will get the nod in that next spot in the rotation.
Well, he absolutely earned it, Kate. Matt Cook was terrific last night as Carlos Asuaje leads off the San Diego second. Matt got an opportunity. Here's our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game. Marrero, the third baseman, standing in the second base spot. And Asuaje shoots that one the other way, away from the shift. And he's got a leadoff single. Boy, Matt Cook, you know, lost in the headlines of the Tyson Ross near no-hitter was Matt Cook. 1 run. He gave up only 2 hits in 6 innings. He was terrific.
Yeah, there's an old saying in this game, it's not how you pitch, it's when you pitch. And unfortunately for Matt Cook, he got hooked up with a guy that was on fire last night.
Yeah, Matt, we've said he's a strike thrower. 86 pitches, 55 strikes last night. He walked 2, struck out 4. Austin Hedges, the catcher. 138 with 2 home runs. Hedges 0 for 4 last night. And this season, 8 for 58 with 22 strikeouts. Now, you were asking last night if there might be a number for Austin Hedges. What did you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you know, you'll take 120 strikeouts if the guy hits 35 or 40 home runs.
He's got some power, hits one to left. Peralta's there.
But if you strike out 125 times and hit 8 home runs, is it really worth altering your swing to get the ball in the air if you're only going to hit that many home runs against that many strikeouts? I was just wondering if there's a cutoff point for hitting coaches and managers where they say, hey, you strike out too much, you don't give us enough power.
Especially on a team like the Padres with Andy Green, and they really emphasize getting on base and on base percentage. Here's Clayton Richard. He's got a home run this year. Squares to bunt. Marrero comes in from third, pulls back. Clayton Richard has got some power. Coors Field off John Gray. There it goes. Wow.
Man.
Upper tank. How about that? Marrero coming in from third. Richard squares again. That's a. Oh, he's out of the box. 1-1.
Clayton Richard also pinch hit in a ball game earlier this year, early in the third inning, and got a base hit, and it was the only hit the Padres got in the game.
Wow. Well, he's a very good athlete. He used to play football at Michigan. He was a backup quarterback on a Rose Bowl team. He was the backup to Chad Henne in 04 in Ann Arbor. 1-2. Folks in the truck like that one, even with the big dog on vacation. Brian Moss representing the maize and blue. I thought they were a basketball school.
I thought it was hockey.
It's not football. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Godley gets his third strikeout. Happy birthday, Zach Godley, 28 years old today. The pride of Bamberg, South Carolina. He's a Tennessee Volunteer. Manuel Margot off the DL today. Struck out to lead off the ball game. First pitch curveball missed. 1-0.
Usually when a guy is just coming back off the disabled list, the first thing you do is test him inside with a fastball. See if he's quick enough to get to that heater. You mentioned it was a rib cage injury to his left side after getting hit by a pitch. See if he can get to a fastball inside.
Well, Murphy sets up, down and away. Try the cutter. Yeah, Margot April 10th at Coors Field was hit by a pitch and suffered some bruised ribs. Back today, Hunter Renfroe with an elbow problem goes on the DL. Well, Suaje at first, 1 out, 2 outs. Always in right field at the track, and he's got it. Godley strands the leadoff single. CO is back, and he'll lead off the Diamondbacks second. They trail the Padres 2-0.
Match. So let's go down to Mike and Vanessa.
50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery. From home, along with all of us at Chase Field, it's your chance to win half the pot, help kids in our community. You can get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle. And the winning number is revealed on the postgame show. Chris Owings, 269 and 1 home run, leads off the second. Have you seen, by the way, the current jackpot for the 50-50? It's just over 28 large.
Wow, and it's early. It's only the second inning. You want to get involved with that tonight.
Make some stacks on stacks on stacks. 2 and 1. I don't know what that means. Well, CO felt like he got lucky this time around not to have been seriously injured in that collision Thursday with A.J. Pollock in right center. Those two just running straight at each other full speed, and the CO got the worst of it.
Yeah, and AJ, I thought he put it really well. He said both of us were at the end of our range. That's as far as they could go to get to that ball. Both of them were running full speed.
Owings, welcome back. He dunks it into right field. Yeah, Chris was diagnosed with a head contusion. He passed all the initial concussion protocol tests and then all his tests again yesterday morning.
Oh, nice piece of hitting right there. Kept his head right down the barrel of the bat, stayed on that pitch away from him, drives it out to right field for a leadoff knock.
I went with Nick Ahmed tonight on Beat the Streak. I'm feeling that. I feel lucky with Nick. He's got good numbers against Clayton Richard. Picked the wrong night to pick D-backs last night. Almost got no hit. Nick 204, 2 home runs. Tapper back to the mound. Richard underhand toss, and they move Owings along. Here's a chance for Devin Marrero.
Third baseman, number 10, Devin Marrero.
Marrero in at third against the lefty. 192 and 4 RBI. Fastball at the knees. Devin scored the D-backs' only run last night. Reached on a fielder's choice, came around on the Christian Walker double. 0 for 3, snapped a 3-game hit streak for him. Austin Hedges keeps Owings at second.
And you know Devin Marrero wants to be considered more than just a defensive infielder, but boy did he make some nice defensive plays last night. Some lightning quick starts of plays, turned to double play that probably shouldn't have been turned.
A very slick fielding infielder. Former ASU Sun Devil, a first-round pick by the Red Sox in the 2012 draft out of Arizona State. In fact, Devin, for 4 years in a row coming up in the minor leagues, was ranked by Baseball America as the best defensive infielder in the Red Sox system. He can play shortstop, second base, third base. Hits lefties very well. Right center, Margot can go get it, but he can't reach that one. Owings will score. Marrero digging for third, and he is in there with an RBI triple.
If you want to be known as more than just a glove man, do this with regularity. Takes an inside fastball, pulls his hands in close to his body and drives it to that gap in right center, slicing away from Margot. That's a nice effort for a guy that just got off the disabled list with bruised ribs. Diamondbacks will put their first run of the board on the game and have Devin Marrero at third with only 1 out.
We saw him hold up a number 1 to the D-back dugout, his first career triple. And the Padres will bring the infield in for the catcher John Ryan Murphy. They're going to appeal or try to appeal at second base. Galvis, the shortstop, stands on the bag. Richard steps off the rubber. And he is safe. Nothing doing, says Mark Wegner over there. So John Ryan Murphy steps in. Marrero at third, 1 out, a run is in. John Ryan 263 and 2 home runs. He's hit the ball very well lately.
Yeah, Devin Marrero rounded first base, headed for second on that triple in the gap. He's watching the ball, trying to determine whether he can make it or not, and never really looks down at the base. Fortunately, it looked like he caught it with his heel right there. We talk about field awareness. If you're going to look out to right center, you have to know where that base is.
Murphy strikes out, and now it's up to Zach Godley to get that tying run home from third.
Pitcher number 52, Zach Godley.
Padres infield backs off now with 2 outs of the pitcher up.
You don't see pitchers usually wear a lot of extra protection up there at the plate, but he's got an ankle guard on, a foot guard.
Don't want to hurt those new shoes.
That's probably what it is, those PF Flyers.
Looks like something Bill Sharman may have worn, or Bob Cousy.
With the short shorts.
Yeah. Up the middle, and it's through into center. We're tied up. The Bull on his birthday, 2-2. He got it by Galvis.
The bottom of the order rally for the Diamondbacks. It started with the number 5 hitter Chris Owings. Godley, happy birthday. Bouncer back up the middle. Looked like Freddie Galvis might have a play on that ball, but you can see how far he has to go to get there, and with the dive just a little bit short, Diamondbacks tie it up.
Fastball's a strike to David Peralta, who struck out his first time. Here's that slider from Richard. It's 0-2. A bouncer to shortstop, Galvis. The D-backs down 2-0, get a leadoff single from Chris Owings. Devin Marrero an RBI triple. Godley gets him home with a 2-run single. And after 2, we're tied at 2 with Chase.
left center field. That's going to gap it all the way to the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Archie's into second. He's not going to stop. Here he comes to third. He slides in safely with a triple. Archie Bradley.
Well, we just saw Godley get that RBI single, and now we take a look at this moment in baseball history presented by Geico, taking us back to last year's National League wild card game when Archie Bradley connected for that triple, becoming the first relief pitcher in baseball history to come up with a triple in postseason play. Tonight, of course, fans celebrating with the Archie bobblehead, and I had a chance to talk with the coaching staff about what that moment was like for them watching Archie. They said if any pitcher was going to do that, they expect Archie to come up like that. But they said the only thing going through their mind while he rounded second base was don't get hurt, don't get hurt, don't get hurt. We need you to go back out there and pitch.
That was a great moment, Kate, a signature moment certainly in D-backs history. Immortalized today on the Archie Bradley bobblehead day. They have a very cute vignette that they played here on the board between innings as Jose Pereira leads off the San Diego third with his roommate Jake Lamb holding the bobblehead and saying, what is this? Did he hit a triple or something? Because he never talks about it. And now he's got a bobblehead that can do the talking for him. Bobblehead, a hot item. First really huge giveaway we've had this year. Archie signing bobbleheads all over the ballpark. That is a very, very good likeness. Got the beard and the fade. 1 and 2. Your bobblehead that we had a couple years ago did not talk, which I thought was disappointing.
I think that'd be kind of spooky.
Yeah. To have a talking bobblehead.
Sneak into somebody's bedroom at night and hit the button.
Get him out there. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts for Godley.
Such a weapon. Man, when he can keep that pitch in and around the strike zone, he gets a lot of funny looking swings from major league hitters.
Eric Hosmer, a strikeout victim his first time. First pitch curveball, 0-1. Hosmer last year in Kansas City tied for 3rd in the American League in hitting. Batted .318. There's that curveball once again. Zach falling off the mound, but he's ahead 0-2. Hosmer last year tied a career high, hit 25 home runs. Watch Godley here.
Yeah, this follow through is almost Bob Gibson like, the way he comes down on that front leg and then his entire body kind of leans to the first base side.
He didn't go, says Jim Reynolds. It's a fairly new development this year with Zach Godley.
Yeah, there were a few occasions last year when he would fall off to the first base side, but it didn't happen with the regularity we're seeing this season.
Trying a backdoor cutter. Didn't get it in there far enough, and it's 2-2. Hosmer has been striking out a lot more often this year as he gets used to the National League and sees some of these pitchers for the first time. Lays off a curveball there with 2 strikes, and it's full.
Yeah, and I think Zach Godley's one of those opposing pitchers. For anybody new to the league, you really need to see him live. Yeah, it doesn't really do you much good to read a report or look at video. You need to get in that batter's box and actually see that cutter, sinker, curveball combination.
Full count, 3-2. Got him on a cutter, down and in. 5 strikeouts for Godley, who set down 5 in a row.
When you throw as many curveballs as Zach Godley does, occasionally you can sneak a heater by him on the inside part of the plate. That one in 91 in an area that Hosmer usually handles pretty well, but maybe just a little tardy because of that steady diet of curveballs earlier in the count.
Christian Villanueva singled and scored a run in the first. So Villanueva's now hit safely in 8 straight games. He's batting over .520 during that 8-game hitting streak, including 3 home runs. Whiffs on a curveball, and it's 1-1. Zach Godley last year was outstanding in this ballpark. His ability to get ground balls and swings and misses with that curveball is a good fit for Chase Field. 12 starts at home last year for Zach. Opponents hit .198 against him, the lowest mark in D-backs history. Another curveball, another swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Can he strike out the side? Villanueva, boy, this kid can hit. 2 for 2.
Hey fans, D-backs Cinco de Mayo Fiesta is just 2 weeks away from today. Arrive early before the D-backs Astros 5:10 matchup to enjoy live music, free salsa tasting, food, music, entertainment, and my favorite, more. Plus the first 20,000 fans to what? The first 20,000 fans at the game will get a State 48 Sugar Skull t-shirt. Visit dbacks.com/Cinco.
You've got to talk to your staff about the promos.
Smooth as burlap.
Franchi Cordero just missed another home run his first time up. Hit it just a tick under the yellow line in center off the wall for a 2-run double.
Hey, you talk about Villanueva. He was a guy that was originally with the Texas Rangers. He went to the Cubs along with Kyle Hendricks in the trade for Ryan Dempster, and then got stuck behind a guy named Bryant.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know.
Villanueva has impressed, certainly. 6 homers, 14 RBIs. He leads the team.
Yeah, 5 of his 6 homers have come against left-handed pitching this year. He's got a good-looking swing. You leave an off-speed pitch in the middle of the plate, he's liable to hit it out of the park.
Yeah, he got stuck behind Chris Bryant in Chicago's minor league system, as you said, and then suffered a broken leg that cost him an entire season. So he's playing catch-up right now.
But he's kept it in the past. It's one of the unfair things about the game, but it happens all the time. You play a certain position for an organization and they draft a #1 pick that comes along and turns into an MVP. And even if you're putting up good numbers, where are you going to go? You see guys try to make position changes to find a way to get to the major leagues, ask out of an organization where they're stuck behind a superstar, and it happens a lot.
Villanueva on the run. And he's got his first stolen base. He was off with the pitch. It was in the dirt. Murphy blocked it.
Yeah, probably should be a stolen base. He was running on the pitch. That's a good block on a curveball that bounced way out in front of home plate.
And scored a wild pitch. Nope. Stolen base. Okay.
Yeah, usually if the runner's in motion when the pitch goes into the dirt, he's credited with a stolen base.
And he was off with the pitch. So it's 2-2 to Cordero, with Villanueva at second and 2 outs. Now you were talking about that situation with Villanueva and Bryant. What about Christian Walker?
Yeah, Yeah, same thing.
I mean, he was MVP of the Coast League last year, set a Reno record for home runs, but he's stuck behind Goldie at first base. Went back to that cut fastball. He's thrown a lot of those here today, especially to some of these Padre lefties.
Shortstop, Freddie Galvis.
That'll bring up Freddie Galvis, who grounded out his first time up. Galvis came out his first season in San Diego determined to show he was more than just a slick fielding shortstop. He's an offensive player as well, and had a hot start with the bat, but he's cooled off. He's stuck in a 1 for 19 right now. John Ryan Murphy needs a mound visit. Suddenly Godley, after striking out Pirela and Hosmer, being away of a single. Cordero walk. He's behind 2-0 on Galvis, and here comes Mike Butcher. You're going to burn a mound visit, you might as well have everybody get involved.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. We've seen this happen not only for the Diamondbacks but for opposing teams. Once that catcher goes to the mound, you might as well send your pitching coach out there. You're going to be credited with a mound visit anyway. You might as well send the coach out there, see what he's got to contribute to the conversation.
So some of that wildness we saw from Zach in LA on Sunday creeping up in spots here this afternoon.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Two on and two out, 2-0 on the Padres shortstop. Hicks with that cutter. Galvis, a switch hitter, batting left-handed. Last year he had exactly 255 from both sides of the plate, right and left, so he's a bipartisan batter. Galvis didn't like it, but it was right there, 2-2. Accurately called by Mike DeMuro. Tough play for Ahmed, the backhander. Whoa, my goodness. Nick Ahmed, pretty. It stays tied at 2. That lets you watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply, so check out MLB.tv for all the details. Ketel Marte leads off the home half of the third against Padres lefty Clayton Richard. Bounced over Richard. Aswahe is there from the grass. One out. Another ground ball out for Clayton Richard. That's how he makes his living. One of the best in the league at generating ground ball outs.
And if you notice, the Padres don't overshift as much with Clayton Richard on the mound. He's a guy that needs to use both sides of the plate. He needs to change speeds. So the Padres don't use the exaggerated shift that we see a lot of teams use. And Andy Green is a big fan of the exaggerated pull shift, but it depends on the pitcher on the mound and what he's going to try to do.
Goldie struck out his first time up on a slider just like that one. Getting a steady dose now, and it's 0-2. That back foot slider from the left-hand pitcher to the right-hand batter. Another zoom ball from Richard.
Hit the mascot. That can only be a pitch that was designed to change Goldie's eye level. Looks like a cutter in.
Buried it in there for a strikeout. Second time he's got Goldie.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Here's AJ. He flying out to right his first time up tonight. Boy, Clayton Richard, for the most part, living right around the edges of that strike zone. He's walked 1 so far. He struck out 4, 50 pitches, 33 for strikes. AJ Pollock in the cleanup spot. He's got a slugging percentage over .580 right now. 8 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs. Leading the D-backs in RBIs. Homered in Thursday's win over the Giants. Just missed another home run Wednesday in that game. Doubled off the wall in right center. It's a fly ball, deep right field, and it's gone. AJ Pollock, number 5, and it's 3-2 D-backs.
Real nice opposite field approach there on a breaking ball from AJ Pollock. A lot of those breaking balls that Clayton Richard has thrown to right-handed hitters have been pulled foul down the third baseline, but AJ stays right on that one, drives it to right center field over the 376 mark.
Well, you just get the feeling if he can stay healthy, he's headed for a big year.
Oh yeah.
That's a jumbo jack. Free jumbo jack tomorrow. A Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Chris Owings singled and scored his first time up.
The Padres have probably seen about enough of Chris Owings too. In his last 13 home games here at Chase Field against the Padres, he's a .372 hitter. He's driven in 22 runs in 12 games plus an at bat.
CO up to 283 on the year. He's ahead 3-1. Zach Godley with a 3-2 lead now. Zach so far has walked 1, struck out 5. And Owings aboard for the second time today. A 2-out walk. Second walk issued by Clayton Richard. Here's Nick Ahmed. Tap back to the mound his first time. Ahmed's another guy with a encouraging track record coming into tonight. Now 5 for 12 career against Clayton Richard. Batting an even 200 on the year. Ahmed check swing foul, and it's 0-2.
And for Chris Owings, that's his 4th base on balls already this season. He only had 17 last year in an injury shortened season, but I think he's feeling so good at the plate right now. He's not jumping at pitches. He's letting the ball get deep into the hitting zone. He trusts that his hands are going to be quick enough to do what he needs to do offensively, so he's not swinging at as many bad pitches. I'd like to see that walk total shoot up there for CO. Good things happen when he gets on base.
He can really run. He's never been a guy who walked at all, even in his minor league days, Chris. Very aggressive swinger. Austin Hedges behind the plate tonight.
Run around the tree that time, blocked the ball. It got out in front of Nick Ahmed, and Hedges went around the back door, scooped that one up just in case CO was thinking about advancing.
It's a good matchup for Nick, a guy he's hit before. Nick has always hit lefties pretty well. But gets a slider, swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Richard, but Pollock gets his 5th of the year. AJ the other way, and it's 3-2 D-backs after 3. Today, our April in Arizona weather, and the roof is wide open now. Still moving. The outfield panel swing open as well here at Chase Field as we start the 4th inning. D-backs and Padres. And A.J. Pollock homers, made it 3-2 Diamondbacks. Carlos Asuaje leads off the San Diego 4th against Zach Godley. Asuaje singled his first time up away from the shift, and the shift is back on.
We're beginning to put up a quick 0 as you see our nationwide vision eye on the game. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, the only defender on the left side.
2 balls, no strikes on the Padres second baseman. Bounces it up the middle, and Marrero, the third baseman, trying to come over toward the shortstop side, can't collect it. That's the second time today Asuaje has beaten the shift.
I would assume this will be an infield hit. I don't know that Devin Marrero could have gotten him from out there in shallow center field when he finally got to the ball. Doesn't field it cleanly, so didn't even have a chance to get him at first.
Base hit for Asuaje. Austin Hedges, the catcher. Well, Godley having another Jekyll and Hyde outing, just like we saw in LA on Sunday in terms of the pitch count. A 26 pitch first, gave up 2 runs, then he cruised for the most part through an 11 pitch second, but he's coming off a 27 pitch third. Ketel Marte calling for it, looking up into the blue sky now, and they retire Hedges for the first out of the 4th.
They'll bring the pitcher Clayton Richard to the plate, and as we know from his first at bat in this ball game, he'll butcher boy, he'll show bunt, pull the bat back, he'll show bunt and go ahead and bunt. They can handle the bat a little bit.
Marrero in at third. Foul tip, and Murphy hangs on. A long look down to Glenn Hoffman coaching at third base for the Padres as always. Curveball's in there, and it's 0-2.
You know, once the bunt is on for the pitcher, usually it stays on until the third base coach takes the sign off. That way you don't have to continually go back to your bunt sign and risk losing it to the other team.
6 strikeouts for Godley, 2 down.
Hey fans, prepare for a few big home games coming up that you do not want to miss. The D-backs will host the Los Angeles Dodgers April 30th through May 3rd, and then the defending world champion Houston Astros May 4th through the 6th right here at Chase Field. Get the best seats with a ticket plan. You can learn more about that by going to dbacks.com/tickets.
Dodgers have Hyunjin Ryu on the mound today against the National Steven Strasburg at Dodger Stadium. That game just underway. Here's Manuel Margot, activated from the DL before the ball game. He's 0 for 2. Giants are in Anaheim taking on the Angels. No score. That game just started. Rockies hosting the Cubs, and Chicago has a 2-0 lead at Coors Field. They're in the 4th. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Cubbies. Another curveball from Godley. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big crowd here tonight. Archie Bradley bobblehead night at Chase Field. Roof and panels just opened up. Saturday night in downtown Phoenix, some D-backs baseball.
You saw that sign from John Ryan
I was
Murphy.
just going to say that, yeah.
We used a similar sign when we wanted the pitcher to come up in a set position and then step off the rubber. You don't want him to throw a pitch. You're hoping that that runner at first will do something to tip off whether he's going to run or not. Just stand out there and hold the ball. See if you can get him to jump.
1-2 on Margot. Suaje takes off. It's in the dirt. Murphy the throw. What a terrific play by John Ryan Murphy to scoop that pitch out of the dirt and throw out Suaje at second. Andy Green wants a minute to take a look.
Well, two good plays right there. John Ryan Murphy picking that ball out of the dirt, making a strong throw in the dirt to second base, where Ketel Marte picks it cleanly.
Zach Godley has a 3-2 lead as we head to the home half of the fourth. In Spanish on Fox Sports Arizona Plus. 1 o'clock. There they are, Oscar and Rodrigo. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Streams live on Fox Sports Go. To find your Fox Sports Arizona Plus channel listing and the 25-game Spanish TV schedule, check out foxsportsarizona.com. Richard reaches out and snags that off the bat of Devin Marrero, and we start the bottom of the fourth. John Ryan Murphy, a strikeout victim his first time. John Ryan is another guy who's worked hard on launch angle. He's been doing that since spring training. And the coaches have noticed he's going to get some opportunities. They really want to have a three-man catching rotation. And John Ryan lately, some home runs, some doubles off the wall. That's headed for the moral compass, Mike Farron. Josh Rawitch sadly had a golden opportunity, and it just caromed off his hand.
Clank.
Take a look. Here's Josh. One hand, bare hand. What might have been the saddest words of tongue and pen. See, he knows right now. It's I don't control it. Talk to Brian. I'm not the director. Nice of me to throw Brian Moss under the bus, by the way. 1-2 on John Ryan Murphy. Godley on deck.
We're about due to get one up here pretty soon. We haven't had one even close in a while.
I just don't want our new backdrop curtain to get damaged. So happy about having that up here this year. Your staff did such a nice job of hanging it. It looks nice. Got more room up here now. So we used to have these plastic things that just kind of came up from the ground. Now we have this lovely curtain that you can just slide across.
Used to be hanging in Bert's shower. Now it's here in the back.
Yes,
of the
that's
booth.
right. Cleaned it up and everything. 3-2. Sky high behind first is Swahe drifting out there. 2 outs.
And we've mentioned that it's Zach Godley's birthday. He's last at bat in the second inning. An RBI base hit. Happy birthday right up the middle of the field.
And that with 2 outs in the second inning tied the game at 2. D-backs took the lead in the third on A.J. Pollock's homer, his 5th of the year.
It's the 12th time all time that a D-back starter has pitched a game on his birthday. Randy Johnson did it 3 times. Steve Sparks, Brandon Webb, Claudio Vargas, Joe Saunders, Jeremy Hellickson, Patrick Corbin, Anthony Bonda, and Robbie Ray all with 1 start on their birthday. And the best by far was Big RJ, 9 innings of 1-run ball back in 1999.
Richard now with 6 strikeouts. D-backs have a 3-2 lead.
Diamondbacks with a 3-2 lead as we head to the 5th, and we take a look at some video from earlier today as Randall Delgado threw a bullpen session after throwing a couple innings earlier this week in Visalia, but he came back to Arizona to see the doctor. Good news, they didn't see anything to worry about, so he was back throwing that bullpen today. But they are shutting him down from his rehab for a bit, just letting him focus on the mechanics rather than go out in an outing. They feel like that puts Randall in the best situation for his health. Meanwhile, today in an extended spring, both Steven Souza Jr. and Jake Lamb had 5 at-bats, both feeling great, tired of being on the disabled list, trying to get back in action, and it's looking good for them. Jake will have a normal day off tomorrow, and if he's feeling good, he'll hit the road with the team heading to Philly for their next road trip. Meanwhile, Souza will resume a throwing progression starting tomorrow.
That's great news, Kate. Thanks very much. Can't wait to get both those guys back.
Yeah, you kind of forget at times that the Diamondbacks have been playing down a couple men for quite a while now.
Manuel Margot leads off the 5th. Randall Delgado, they really wanted him to have a full spring training because he didn't get one. And lately in some of those appearances for Visalia, the velocity had been down a bit, so they were a little concerned. So they brought him out here and had a look and checked him out, had him throw.
You notice he had his full uniform on.
Just to see what it feels like?
Well, I think when guys are on the disabled list, any opportunity to put that uniform back on, it feels so good. Most of the time when a guy throws a side session, they're down there in their pants and maybe a t-shirt with their cleats. But Randall had the full gear on today.
Well, they miss him back there, that's for sure. Like Fetter's the bullpen coach. 0-2 on Margot. Godley so far has walked 1. He struck out 6. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Margot can really run. Awfully close, but they got him. That was slowly hit to Nick. 1 down in the 5th.
Just a routine ball. Nick doesn't waste any time. He gets to it, throws it across the diamond, but it's a bang bang play at first. That tells you how fast Margot is on a routine ground ball to short. Makes it a close play at first.
They really want him to be their leadoff man if he can get on base often enough. Pirela has singled, scored a run, and struck out 1 for 2. Nice to see. It would be nice to see Zach have a quick inning here. In the 1st and 3rd, he was over 25 pitches both times, but in the 2nd and 4th, he was under 13. So it's been up and down, up and down. Little stumble off the mound again that time, and he's behind on Pirela 2-0. He's starting to misfire here. 3 balls and no strikes with Hosmer on deck. Zach did not have an answer for why he had so much trouble with his command in that loss on Sunday in LA. Just that some days you got it, some days you don't. Felt good. Ball felt like it was coming out of his hand really well. It's the low strike call there for Mike DeMura, which 3-1.
It just appeared to be an issue of release point. You know, the ball was moving all over the place like it always does. His curveball had some vicious late break to it. He just couldn't keep it in the strike zone.
It was remarkable, a 7-pitch first and a 41-pitch third. As you said, it just left instantly out of nowhere. That's in there for a strike. Full count, 3-2. That's a nice sort of a subtle silent protest by Pirela there. It's sort of drop your head, step out of the box, change the batting glove, deep breath. Got the curveball inside for his 7th strikeout.
They left it up a little bit, but fooled Pirela. With that top quadrant of the strike zone there, up and in.
Base is empty. 2 down for Hosmer, who has struck out twice. Wild swing. Zach's had a lot of luck burying that cut fastball down and into lefties and throwing it for strikes. That's been an effective pitch for him here tonight. Curveball got away. It's 1-1. Trying to get through 5. Can he strike out a Hosmer for the 3rd time in 3 at-bats? Missed inside with a fastball. It's 2-2. Dodgers have taken a lead over the Nationals 1-0. Jock Peterson a home run. Giants have a 2-0 lead at the Angels.
Jock Peterson, another guy celebrating a birthday today.
Called strike 3. The Bull on his birthday. 8 strikeouts and a 3-2 lead. Lavello and Zach Godley in between innings in the D-backs dugout. Notice the shoes that Zach Godley is wearing. As Peralta rounds out to Aswahe. Those are not the high top PF Flyers with which he started the game.
Not sure if it's just a luck thing or whether those shoes weren't quite broken in enough to go 9. Those are his bullpen shoes. You know, he starts with the PF Flyers, middle innings changes to those, and we'll see what he has on late in the ball game.
We believe he changed the shoes after the 4th, and he just worked a 1-2-3 5th with 2 strikeouts. So score 1 for New Balance. Here's Ketel Marte, a walk and a ground out.
Certainly the fans have noticed by now Clayton Richard, like a lot of pitchers in the major leagues, kind of a hybrid wind-up stretch position. He's got a lot of herky-jerky action going on in his delivery anyway, and going with the full wind-up, the step back, the arms up over the head, the step forward, the whole deal. He just couldn't get himself into a consistently good throwing position, so he's eliminated a lot of it.
Hard to second. Aswahe one more time.
Hey fans, Mother's Day is just a few Sundays away. Secure your seats now to spend Mother's Day here at Chase Field on Sunday, May 13th. The first 10,000 moms in attendance will take home the D-backs tote bag courtesy of bubbly sparkling water. Get your Mother's Day ticket now at dbacks.com.
So far, Richard, who's retired 6 in a row, has been throwing it right by Goldie. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Fastballs and sliders have been very effective against Paul so far today. Richard has walked 2. He's got 6 strikeouts.
You see a distant relative of one of Randy's friends from Tucson. It's a dangerous area right behind home plate.
Randy was working with the governor, Greg Schulte, at a radio event before the game today. Randy had addressed the crowd briefly. 3-1. AJ homered his last time up. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Goldie knocks it into left. Perella over there by the track. Goldie digging for second. And he is in there with a double.
Goldie gets a little bit out in front of this fastball, but hooks it down into that left field corner, and he was thinking 2 all the way. Had Perella moving way to his right over there near the bullpen. He was going to challenge with 2 outs in the inning, try to get himself into scoring position where he is right now for A.J. Pollock.
A.J. a solo homer to right center his last time up, his 5th of the year. Fastball down and away. Here's A.J. with 2 outs in the 3rd.
Opposite field. Exit velocity just over 100 miles per hour. Launch angle of 32 degrees. Estimated 395 feet.
Godley's RBI single that tied it 2-2 in the 2nd came with 2 outs. Pollock's solo homer in the 3rd that gave the D-backs the lead came with 2 outs. And he's up there again with 2 down and Goldie at 2nd. Down the line in right. Bam Bam Balderrama. That took a bad hop on Bam Bam. Golden Glover in right field. Christopher Marino in left. Haven't come up with a nickname yet for Chris Marino. I was trying to remember, what was Dan Marino and Duper and Clayton? That whole group had a nickname back in the day. Still working on that one. Yeah, we got to come up with something. Richard at 90 pitches, 57 strikes. 1-2 on Pollock. High in the air, center field. Margot calling off Perella. And they strand Goldie at 2nd. We head to the 6th inning. It's 3-2 Diamondbacks. for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. We head to Philadelphia next week, where at Citizens Bank Park they were hosting the Pirates. Rhys Hoskins, he homered, he singled, he knocked in 4, and the Fightin' Phils beat the Buccos 6-2. Those Phillies, they got some good young players. Hoskins and Kingery and Alfaro Altair.
You can roll that pole, guys that swing hard, uppercut, try to hit home runs.
Zach Godley pitching on his 28th birthday today, has walked 1, 8 strikeouts, and a 3-2 lead is Christian Villanueva, who's 2 for 2 so far, leads off the San Diego 6th. We have one more against the Padres here tomorrow, a 1:10 start. That's Patrick Corbin against Joey Lucchesi. And then we're on an airplane off day Monday, 3 in Philly Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 3 in Washington, D.C. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, before it's back home against the Dodgers. One of those Philly games, by the way, is on the Facebook.
I heard.
Do they still call it that?
I'm not sure. You're asking the wrong guy.
It was in the movie. 1-2 on Villanueva. Lines it to Marrero at third.
I'll tell you, on Archie Bradley bobblehead night, audio bobblehead night, even better. Everybody's getting into the spirit. Even the big heads running the race, the Legends race, wearing the Archie beards.
That's respect.
Yes, it is.
Well, Zach Godley had 94 pitches, and that's going to do it. He leaves in the 6th inning with a 3-2 lead. Back with more from Chase Field. Five and a third, gave up 2 runs, 6 hits, a walk, and 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, much better from Zach Godley tonight. He had a few spells during the game where he lost the strike zone a little bit, but only 1 base on balls, made some big pitches when he needed to. Other than that first inning, he's been totally in command.
So he leaves holding a 3-2 lead, 1 out in the 6th inning. And it's time for the Sheriff, Andrew Chafin, on to face the left-hand batting Franchi Cordero, who has a 2-run double and a base on balls. And the big home run here last night. Chafin worked an inning last night. He pitched the 7th. 3 outs, 1-2-3, including a strikeout on 15 pitches. That 1.59 ERA, his 8th appearance of the year. Zach and Zach.
We saw that conversation between manager Troy Lavello and Zach Godley between innings before he went back out to take the ball here to start the 6th inning. I'm sure Troy was laying it out there for him. Here's the deal. You're going to go out there to face the first hitter, and then we're bringing in the lefty to face the lefty.
It was a long talk, and Torrey kept making the motion like he was a pitcher coming set. I wondered, and I know they're not thrilled with the way he's falling off the mound, but something about his balance, his footwork, his delivery, something about just coming off the mound the way he's been lately. I think they're starting to get a little uncomfortable with that. Just based on Torrey's body language and what the conversation seemed to be about.
Well, a real nice bounce back outing. We said for our key to the game, get back on track, and it sure looked like Zach Godley was back on track tonight.
3 hits, 2 runs in the first. Cordero almost hit one out again to dead center. Squirts this one the other way, and it dunks into left. He's aboard for the 3rd time tonight.
Sounded like a broken bat floater into left field. This is the same guy that hit one 489 feet last night. Takes a full swing and just loops it out there into shallow left field. They all count.
Freddie Galvis has twice grounded out, 0 for 2. Galvis won for his last 20 at the plate, now at 247 on the year.
And Galvis, a much more patient hitter as a lefty, has drawn 11 walks as a left-handed hitter, only 4 as a right-handed hitter. I stand corrected, 1 as a right-handed hitter.
Cordero has very good speed at first. He can really run. Fernando Salas. He worked the 8th inning last night, warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. He's been outstanding this year. Fernando last night got 3 outs on 10 pitches. That's out of play. Freddie Galvis, 6 seasons in Philadelphia. Now the new shortstop in San Diego. Acquired by the Padres in December in a trade for a minor leaguer. Chased a high heater, and it's 1-2. Well, you look at shortstop in San Diego the last few years. Good Lord. Alexei Ramirez and Eric Ibar and Clint Barmas, all guys at or near mid-30s, kind of on their last leg. They went out and got themselves a legit big league shortstop, one of the best defenders in the business in Freddie Galvis. They got Cordero hung up, and he runs into an out.
Cordero taking off on first movement, and with his speed, he almost outruns Goldie's relay to Nick Ahmed at short, but they get the out. That'll go down as a caught stealing 1-3-6.
Base is empty, 2 down, and a 1-2 count on Freddie Galvis. Got him. The Sheriff gets us to the home half of the 6th. D-backs lead at 3-2.
inning, Tortorella very open, very communicative with his players, and Zach Godley, after coming out of the ball game, Torrey was over there talking to him right away, explaining why he took him out of the ball game. You saw him hold up one finger there a couple of times. Not sure if that was part of the plan to go out there and get the first hitter and then turn it over to the bullpen. It certainly appeared like that's what he was telling Zach, and you know, Zach doesn't want to come out of the ball game ever.
And Torrey knows that too.
Yeah, sure.
But there's never any uncertainty. There's never any mystery. You always get a conversation, an explanation, and you get to tell your side of it as well. And it really seems to work for the players.
Yeah, well, after Zach Godley's 5 1/3 tonight, giving up only 2 runs, the starters on this homestand, just the starters, have an ERA of 1.62, an opponent's batting average of 149.
Chris Owings on board again.
Yeah, the starters have absolutely been dealing.
Owings has singled and walked twice. And now here's Nick Ahmed. Clayton Richard at 95 pitches. And so Andy Green has to start getting that bullpen cranked up. Adam Simber, a submarining right-hander. He's a guy that they like a lot. Had a sensational spring, and he's looked good so far this year. Hedges out there to have a word with Richard.
Hey fans, customize your own ticket pack this season with the D-backs mini plan. Choose from the best games like Cinco de Mayo versus the Astros, Mother's Day, Father's Day, even the 4th of July. Visit dbacks.com/mini plan.
And now here's Andy Green out to the mound. Hedges succeeded in buying the bullpen some more time. And that's going to be it. D-backs lead the Padres 3-2. Back after this. Ages of 10 and 16, and you'd like to be part of a D-backs broadcast, interview a player, go behind the scenes and see what it takes to produce a baseball game. Come out Sunday, that's tomorrow, Chase Field, Fox Sports Arizona. Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions from 11:30 to 1:30. Those are held at the Sandlot on the upper concourse of left field. We may get to interview a D-backs player. Clayton Richard, his night is over. Rookie right-hander Adam Simber, who's come out of nowhere to become one of the best relief arms in this Padre pen, his 11th appearance already. 18 strikeouts in 14 innings, a 1.93 ERA. Owings at first, nobody out. Here's Nick Ahmed. Floats a fastball up there at 85.
You know, a lot of submarine pitchers, it's late in their career. They've stopped getting hitters out throwing overhand, so they try to go submarine. Simber's been throwing submarine since he was 10 years old.
He's out of the University of San Francisco. Padres got him with a 9th round pick back in 2013.
His father was a big fan of Kent TeColvey and Dan Quisenberry, even Dennis Eckersley, guys that had real low 3/4 sidearm or even submarine deliveries, and suggested that maybe his son start early. So at 10 years old in Little League, he was already throwing submarine.
Now here he is in the big leagues. A 27-year-old rookie. He showed up at spring training in Peoria as a non-roster invite. Made 10 appearances in the Cactus League. Worked 9 innings of scoreless baseball. Gave up only 4 hits, and now here he is.
You notice that front foot as he gets set in his stretch position, it's pointed towards center field. He said he does that to make sure he keeps himself locked off. He doesn't want to have to lift the leg and then torque. So he goes ahead and torques that front side right away. Watch the setup with the left foot.
Yeah, look at that. He's standing on his toe. Owings off with the pitch. Foul ground. Hosmer. Co's got to hustle back. And he just makes it in time.
You know, Simber himself watched a lot of video of Brad Ziegler and Darren O'Day, a couple of side armors that have had great success at the major league level, just to try to smooth out his delivery out there on the mound a little bit.
Well, he started out at the University of Washington. He may have been a teammate of Jake Lamb's with the Huskies. Here's Marrero, an RBI triple in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 2. This was Marrero following an Owings single in the 2nd inning.
Just out of the reach of Manuel Margot out there in center field, and it was off to the races after that.
His first career triple, Devin Marrero. Owings takes off for second again. Wow, what a throw by Austin Hedges. He can really catch it and throw it back there.
Well, we know how CO can run. He got a pretty good jump. Takes a while for the submariner to unwind to home plate, but man, Hedges put it right on the bag to Asuaje for that out at second base. That's one of those plays where all you have to do is catch it. It's right in line with where the runner's going to slide.
2-0 on Marrero. So after a leadoff walk, suddenly it's bases empty, 2 outs. D-backs have been out hit 7-5, but they lead at 3-2. Boy, he's just floating it up there at 85, 86.
You see that delivery with that toe pointed back towards center field. It closes off that front hip. Really, I mean, that's a submariner. That's not sidearm. That's way down under.
In there for a strike. Full count, 3-2.
You're right. He'll almost stand on his own toe. Right there. Very close.
Cordero coming in, and it drops in front. Marrero is second hit tonight. His bats come alive this week.
Tailing fastball working its way back in. Once again, Marrero pulls his hands in. Didn't get the barrel on it, but got enough of it to goose it out there into right field for a 2-out knock.
John Ryan Murphy 0 for 2. Pitcher spot is up next. Daniel Descalso in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Chafin with Fernando Salas ready in the D-back bullpen. How hard do you think it is for him to hold runners? with all this.
You know, for all the movement that he has to get into that submarine position, he unloads the ball fairly quickly. And when you got a catcher like Hedges back there who really unloads the ball quickly and has a strong, accurate arm, that's probably good enough. And kind of the red line for base runners is 1.3. If the pitcher takes less than 1.3 seconds to unload the ball to home plate, you probably aren't going to run on him. If it's over 1.3, then you've got a chance. He's right at 135 on that last pitch.
Well, I guess if you're going to adopt this pitching motion as a youngster, that's something you're going to be aware of. 2 balls, 1 strike on the D-backs catcher, John Ryan Murphy. Descalso would hit for the pitcher, Chafin.
.131 on that last delivery from Simber. So that's right on that borderline. There you get a good base runner with good speed at first base. You've got a pitcher unloading the ball to home plate at 1-3. The real difference maker, however, is behind the plate. You've talked about it before. Austin Hedges can really catch and throw.
He's always been one of the best catching prospects in baseball. They're still waiting for the bat to catch up to the glove of the arm, but he is very good back there. 2 outs. Marrero at first, 3-2 on Murphy. There goes the runner. And this one is sent out to right field. Cordero won't get it. And Marrero's on the run. He's going to stop at third. And Descalso gets a chance. They're on the corners with 2 outs.
Fastball working its way back in, and much like Devin Marrero, J.R. Murphy pulls his hands way in close to his body and shoots it to the opposite field. Little floater that drops in front of Cordero.
Chance to pad the lead. Descalso hits for the pitcher. Daniel in the cleanup spot last night, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. 167 on the year. I know you've never hit left-handed, at least not on purpose, but how big an advantage is it when you're dealing with a windup like this?
Well, as you can imagine, as a right-handed hitter, when you see Simber drop down like that, it looks like he's throwing the ball behind you.
Base hit for Descalso. Marrero is home, and it's 4-2.
Diamondbacks rally starting at the bottom of the order. Daniel Descalso off the bench as the pinch hitter shoots it right by Simber on into center field. Then Marrero comes home with the 4th run of the game for the D-backs.
Last 3 D-backs runs have all come on 2-out hits. And here's Peralta 0 for 3. That's trying to get out of play. Villanueva gave it a run, and he slides into the stands. And he's hurt.
Villanueva tried to go into a slide to protect himself against that wall over there. He knew he was getting close. Might have jammed his knee right into the wall over there. Tracking that ball near the bleachers, just misses it, and then jams that right leg underneath the signage there on the fence.
He's been playing so well that the veteran Chase Headley just can't get off the bench. They brought Headley back this year and picked up the tab on his salary, but all Villanueva's done is hit. 0-1 on Peralta. Murphy at second and Descalso at first. A run is in. David 0 for 3 last night. That snapped an 8-game hit streak. Swing and a miss. They strand 2, but they get 1 as we head to the 7th. It's 4-2 D-backs. As we hit the 7th inning. D-backs fans, if you can't watch the games on your TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the app for free. Take Fox Sports Arizona and the D-backs with you wherever you go. Beautiful night. Roof and panels open here. Have been since the 4th inning. And on to start the 7th, the right-hander Fernando Salas. Salas got a minor league deal to show up to spring training and did a terrific job. Won a bullpen spot, a roster spot, and here he is, 9 appearances, a 1.42 ERA. Carlos Asuaje, who has singled twice, leads off the San Diego 7th. D-backs have the shift on. Asuaje has hit away from the shift twice. There you see Devin Marrero at third, standing behind the second base bag. Tapper to second for Marte, one away. See, the Chicago White Sox are hosting the World Series champion Astros, and Houston is winning 10-1 in the 9th inning. The White Sox have now given up 10 or more runs in 4 consecutive games. That is it ties the longest streak in White Sox history. They've been around a while too.
Yeah. Josh Reddick hit his 2nd grand slam this season.
You had him last night on your beat the streak.
Yes, I did.
Stay hot. Here's Austin Hedges. Yeah, can you imagine giving up at least 10 runs 4 games in a row? Ouch.
Ouch is right.
Yeah.
I'm talking about grand slam. Sammy Sosa hit 246 career homers before his first career slam, and then he hit another one the next day.
Hedges has got some power, hits it pretty deep center field, but room for AJ. Well, we mentioned Chase Headley just not being able to get off the bench because Villanueva's played so well. He'll hit for the pitcher now. Headley off to a 2 for 28 start to the year. Headley back for his second go-round with the Padres. Jordan Lyle starts to get loose in the San Diego bullpen, the right-hander. He spent the first 8 years of his big league career in San Diego. It's hit hard and by Marte into right center.
Andy with a rollover grounder to the right side, squared it up pretty good, shoots it right by Ketel Marte. Couple of steps in a dive, just couldn't quite get there, but you know, for a lot of batters that's a double. But AJ hustled over from center field, blocked that gap, got to the ball quickly, and made sure Headley didn't even think about going to.
Manuel Margot 0 for 3. That's something you might not pay all that much attention to, but boy, extra 90 feet here and there. Run prevention.
Yeah. I mean, and he wasn't on a dead run when he got to the ball where it was going to take him a few steps to gather himself and turn and throw back to the infield. That's when runners attempt to take that extra base with 2 outs in the inning. But AJ got over in front of that ball. There was no chance for Headley to advance.
So he's at first with 2 outs. A 1-1 count on the Padres center fielder. Manuel Margot just off the DL today. He's been out with some bruised ribs. Got hit by a pitch in Colorado last Tuesday. Coming off a very solid rookie year last season. 263, 13 homers. He stole 17 bases. Guy who should be a fixture in center field in San Diego for a long time. He hits this one deep left center. Peralta at the track, and he's got it. We stretch at Chase Field. Home half of the 7th on the way. It'll be Ketel Marte and then Paul Goldschmidt. D-backs lead the Padres 4-2. Great time, a Saturday night at Chase Field. Roof and panels open, just gorgeous here. Fans, for the first time ever, the NFL Draft is live on Fox. Join Troy Aikman, Joel Klatt. They'll be in Dallas for all the big picks. April 26, 27, live on Fox and the NFL Network with all the quarterbacks and the Baker Mayfield and the whole thing. Ketel Marte, who has walked and twice grounded out, leads off the bottom of the 7th inning. New pitcher for the Padres, the right-hander Jordan Lyles, who spent much of last year with Colorado, 33 relief appearances. He was let go in August. Signed by the Padres in December. So far so good, a 1.46 ERA. His 9th appearance of the year. Are you one of these NFL draft nicks, or do you mock draft and you've got this team trading up, moving down, the whole thing?
What do you think?
No.
It's baseball season, for crying out loud. You know what I am interested in? One more run for the D-backs.
Oh, because you got to eat.
No tacos on this homestand. Diamondbacks scored 1 run in the first game, then back-to-back games with 3 runs, and then 1 last night.
I was going to say, you look like you've dropped a few pounds.
Starving.
You know who looks great is Mickey. I walked in with Mickey, who works our camera down by the D-backs dugout. I said, Mick, you look like you've dropped about 15, 20. He's skinny. I didn't recognize him. How much?
Maybe 2 pounds.
No.
You've just relocated.
He's slimming down a Mick. He looks terrific. Leadoff walk for Ketel Marte. That'll bring up Goldie. Goldie has struck out twice and doubled 1 for 3.
How about this? 2 walks for Ketel Marte tonight, 2 walks for Chris Owings. The only 4 walks in the game for Diamondbacks offense. 2 guys that normally don't take a lot of base on balls.
Good point. Well, the Padres in the 8th inning will have the middle of the order coming up. Pirela, Hosmer, and Villanueva, 2, 3, and 4. And Archie Bradley starting to get loose down in the bullpen on his bobblehead night. Because Chafin and Salas were so good, Torrey, as he often likes to do, is able to match up Archie with the heart of the other team's order. Sometimes it might be in the 7th inning, sometimes it comes in the 8th. It's more about the matchups than the innings. They want Archie in there facing the other team's best hitters, and it's going to work out that way for Torrey in the 8th. But the bigger the lead, the better, certainly. 1-1 to Goldie. Another thing to think about with the bullpen, and we talked about this last night, Brad Boxberger, the closer, has pitched on 3 consecutive days, got the loss last night. And so you got to imagine that Brad is down tonight. Wouldn't think he'd be available. Center field, Margot backing up. And it's off the wall. It caroms back toward right center. Marte's going to score. And Goldie is in at 3rd with an RBI triple. You asked for it. You get it. Tacos.
Breaking ball right in the middle of the plate at 85. It made that Goldie noise coming off the bat. He hit it straight away center field. Banged it off that padding. It caught the edge of the padding out there and ricocheted away from Margot over into right center field. Goldie easily into 3rd base with a triple.
His 2nd this year. It's 5-2 D-backs. He's the 3rd. No outs for Pollock, and the infield comes in for the Padres. AJ homered in the 3rd, his 5th of the year. You got tacos. We all do.
Right. Goldie now an even 10 for 20 lifetime against Jordan Lyles.
Remember, it was Lyles who, when pitching for the Rockies almost this time a year ago, gave up a walk-off homer to Daniel Descalso. Descalso hit one in the pool to send us home.
Or a couple tack-on runs doesn't hurt a thing. That San Diego bullpen is pretty darn good. I mean, Padres bullpen has a 2.67 ERA, which is behind only Toronto and the Diamondbacks. Opponent's batting average of 193 against the Padres bullpen is the best in the National League.
One and two. Base hit. 6-2 Diamondbacks. Goldie scores. AJ's second RBI tonight.
AJ really waited well on this breaking ball. Stays up and out over the plate. Takes it right back up the middle of the field.
A walk, a triple, a single start the D-backs seventh inning. Here's Chris Owings, who's reached base safely all three times he's been up. He's singled and walked twice. Trying to keep pace with the rest of the National League West. Dodgers continue to lead the Nationals 1-0 in LA. Ryu versus Strasburg. They're in the sixth. Jock Peterson's homer, the game's only run. Giants are tied up with the Angels 2-2 in Anaheim. They're in the fifth inning. The Rockies were trailing at home against the Cubs after Wilson Contreras hit a two-run double. But they got RBIs from LeMahieu, Parra, Arenado, Story. Colorado leads at 5-2. They're in the seventh. TJ McFarland has joined Archie Bradley in a Sanderson Ford bullpen. D-backs tonight 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They have out-hit the Padres 10-8. They lead at 6-2. Breaking balls is striking. It's 1-2 on CO.
Snap throw from Jordan Lyles that time almost locked up his first baseman. Eric Hosmer reacted as if he was surprised by that throw over there to first base. Quick snap throw that time from Lyles.
Hosmer might be a nervous nibbler down there with the laces. He was doing that last night with his teeth. Another quick throw from Lyles.
Over time, you get to know your glove so well that you know which laces to pull on to tighten up the pocket or tighten up the wrist or tighten up the thing around your thumb. All those loose strings, you see him tugging on those ones right there. That pulls his little finger all the way over to the edge of the glove. Catchers are notorious for that. After they give the sign to the pitcher, well, watch Alex Avila next time he's behind the plate. There's certain laces on the glove, as I mentioned, that tighten up the webbing or tighten up the finger grips. There you see Austin Hedges doing a little maintenance. And every so often you have to take the knot out of the lace and pull some more of the lace out and put another knot in it. You're constantly going loose over the course of the season. Eventually you'll have to get it relaced.
Still 1-2 on Owings. That was close down there. AJ a perfect 4 for 4 in his stolen base attempts this year. Long set by Lyles. Owings can check on a curveball. Nick Ahmed 0 for 3.
Shortstop, Nick Ahmed.
Archie Bradley has stopped warming up. It looks like it's just TJ down there in the D-back bullpen. D-backs with 1 in the 6th, 2 more here in the 7th. It's not like it's Jake Lamb down there.
Just saying, a better read that time by A.J. Pollock. He got out there to his maximum lead and quickly recognized that Lyles was coming over to first base. Maybe there's some kind of a trigger point over there that Dave McKay has picked up on Lyles over the years. Fastball at 96 from Jordan Lyles that time. He'd really been messing around a lot with his off-speed pitches, his breaking ball. I think a guy with a fastball in the upper 90s would use it a little more as a weapon. He kind of uses the fastball to set up his off-speed deliveries.
A ball and a strike on Ahmed. AJ takes off for second and Nick fouls that one away. You know who was a great base stealer in his day? Ellis Burks is here scouting.
Well, he was a really, really good player.
Sure was.
Red Sox, a lot of things well.
Had a chance to chat with him for a bit before the game today. "18 years in the major leagues, Ellis Burks. More than 2,100 hits. 1-2 on Nick Ahmed. Late time granted. AJ was off and running.
Well, I'd say the cat's out of the bag. AJ's going to try to steal that base if he can. Yeah, when you break for second base on a timeout, that's pretty much an indicator that you really want to steal that bag.
Well, just looking at Ellis Burke, some of his numbers. 1996 in Colorado, hit 40 home runs and stole 32 bases. Batted .344. 1-2. AJ holding this time. It's in the dirt.
One of my favorite memories about Ellis Burks didn't even happen on a baseball field. I happened to be in a restaurant down in Tucson with some friends in spring training, and of course the Rockies trained in Tucson at the time, and Ellis was sitting across the restaurant all by himself at a table. And every 30 seconds, another kid or another dad or another mom would go over there and ask for an autograph. And he smiled and signed every piece of paper that was shoved his way. Couldn't have been more nice.
Class act, Ellis Burks. 2-2.
Me, I told him to beat it.
AJ takes off again. Throw is in the dirt. Hedges. Boy, he can really throw back there. Man. We saw him get Owings in the 6th inning with a terrific throw. And they'll have a look at the replay.
Man, Hedges would be the first one to tell you he got a little bit lucky. The pitch is in the dirt and he just tries to pick it clean while he's coming up out of his crouch. Still got off a strong, accurate throw after picking the ball out of the dirt. I think they got it.
Good call by Mark Wegner, it looks like, down there. No challenge from the D-backs. Second time in 2 innings now. Austin Hedges has thrown out a D-backs base stealer. Base is empty now. 2 outs and a full count on Nick Ahmed. Ball 4. Marrero will hit. Second walk in the inning issued by Jordan Lyles, who's now at 25 pitches. And a good day for Devin Marrero. Had an RBI triple and scored in the 2nd. Singled and scored in the 6th. He's 2 for 3. Bounce to Villanueva. High hopper at 3rd. D-backs add 2 more after a Marte walk. Goldie, an RBI triple off the wall. And then A.J. Pollock delivers Goldschmidt from 3rd. We head to the 8th at 6-2 D-backs.
Chase Field, Archie. I mean, it was, I like talking about it, it's giving me chills. It was one of the most special moments I've ever had the pleasure of enjoying.
And now Archie Bradley and the fans in attendance tonight can relive that moment over and over with Archie's bobblehead today that does have that call of the big moment in that National League wildcard game. And Archie, very excited about today's game. I had a chance to talk to him in the clubhouse, and he's like, it's my bobblehead night. I got to do something big. Well, if he doesn't get in the game, he was doing something big before the game, talking with all the kids, trying to sign as many balls and bats and, of course, bobbleheads as he could. And who knows, guys? We never know how it's going to turn out in baseball. Maybe we'll see him tonight. If not, we just know tonight's game does mean a lot to him.
You're right, Kate. Thanks. As TJ McFarland comes on with a 4-run lead to start the 8th inning. And you know, Bob, it's remarkable. You saw Archie spending all the time with the youngsters and signing autographs. I mean, it's the way he's become a magnet for this franchise and a fan favorite so quickly. Up the middle, Ahmed behind the bag. This was a guy that, you know, it wasn't too long ago you didn't know if he was going to make the team. And he has become a superstar here in the Valley.
He's really found his niche on the field. You know, Archie for years wanted to be a starting pitcher. They put him in the bullpen almost by default. And he has really taken to that role. And you can tell he loves what he's doing right now, loves being in the community here of Phoenix. We talked about it early in the season, going to soccer games and hoops games and college games. He was all over town this winter.
Drove Jake Lamb crazy. Eric Hosmer struck out all 3 times he's been up. And the response the D-backs have received to the Archie Bradley bobblehead has been tremendous. We had about 4,000 fans walk up and buy tickets for the game today. More than 38,000 here tonight. And they just love Archie. But it's maybe I'm sure a bit of a relief that he's not pitching tonight because they don't need him at 6-2 and like to keep it that way.
I was in Chicago one day at Wrigley Field when Randy Myers came in out of the bullpen on his poster day. They had given away 25,000 Randy Myers posters, and he went out and blew a save, and all 25,000 of them ended up on the field.
Randall K. Myers didn't work out. Well, TJ had a heroic moment of his own already this year when he came on for Taijuan Walker in LA, and he was sensational. That was over the weekend.
Bullpen saver.
Yeah, that was a week ago today. Taijuan, of course, had to leave after the 2nd inning with a forearm problem. He'll now have Tommy John surgery Wednesday in New York. TJ came on and was sensational. 4 scoreless innings. He gave up only 2 hits and saved the day. D-backs won the ball game of the series at Dodger Stadium. And Hosmer wearing the golden sombrero, 0 for 4 with 4 punchouts.
Now closers get saves out of the bullpen, but on that particular night TJ McFarland saved the bullpen. If he wasn't able to go more than an inning, it was going to be all hands on deck that game, but he was able to eat up 4 innings with relatively little damage.
Christian Villanueva has singled twice and scored a run. They're talking about Archie Bradley. Spring training last year, he was not going to win a rotation spot, so they put him in the bullpen. He said, that's fine. I'm a major league pitcher. I don't want to go to Reno and start. I'll be a reliever here. And then you forget that for the first 2 months really of last year, Archie was the long man back there. He'd come out, give you 2-3 innings time and time again. It was almost always a multiple inning relief appearance, much like TJ McFarland this year. And he didn't really morph into the quote unquote 8th inning guy until almost 2 months into the year. So he really has seen his role evolve here in a very short timeline. But once he settled into that role, there he is with Mark Reed, one of the bullpen catchers. He just took it and ran with it. Two and one on Villanueva. Fly ball, deep left field. Peralta at the wall, and he's got it. Bottom 8, 6-2 D-backs.
our post-game show. Well, Gracie, we're seeing a lot of things we didn't see last night: pitching, defense, and timely hitting.
This is more like the Diamondbacks we've come to expect. They're getting timely hits. They got a good start from Zach Godley. The bullpen has been spotless again, and clean baseball, good defense, and hence they're winning by 4 runs.
It's great to see. More analysis from Gracie and reaction from the clubhouse in the post-game show, guys.
Okay, guys, thanks. Our Gila River game summary. Gracie exactly right. It's been a solid game for the D-backs. Zach Godley on his 28th birthday today got the start. Zach went 5 1/3, gave up only 2 runs, had 8 strikeouts. The bullpen's been terrific. Some late offense. All adds up to a 6-2 lead here as Kirby Yates, the right-hander, will start the home half of the 8th inning. John Ryan Murphy, the catcher, will lead it off. TJ McFarland with the pitcher spot up next is in the on deck circle. So Torrey looking for 6 outs from TJ tonight. John Ryan singled his last time up, 1 for 3. Kirby Yates just off the 10-day DL the other day. He'd been out with a right ankle problem. Murphy pops that up, hedges near the screen, but it's out of play.
Hey, partner, we want to congratulate the Jackson Generals for their start this year under Shelley Duncan. They're 13-2. Coincidentally, they beat Chattanooga tonight 13-2.
That's not irony. That's coincidence.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job by you.
My staff.
That's the D-backs AA affiliate in the Southern League. Used to be in Mobile. Now second season, I believe, in Jackson. As Yates strikes out Murphy to start the 8th.
Well, they've got a pitcher there that closes games for him, Colin Poche. Through 6 games, he's thrown a total of 8 innings and given up 1 bunt single, struck out 19, walked 1 in 8 innings of work. Doug Drabeck, the pitching coach down there under Shelley Duncan, and Vince Harrison, the hitting coach, obviously has been working with the entire ball club because they're hitting .313 as a team.
Nice job, Jackson. I always like to hear about those affiliates doing well. TJ will hit for himself here and go back out and work the 9th inning. You know who the closer is for that Jackson team? I believe it's Yohan Lopez.
Really?
The Cuban signee from several years ago, who's had a lot of problems on and off the field, but is really starting to put it together. He's looked very good so far this year, from what I understand. Kirby Yates, couple of strikeouts to start the 8th.
Hey, fans, receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casinos.
Archie Bradley bobblehead day here at Chase Field. D-backs trying to even the series at a game apiece, and a chance to win another series tomorrow with Patrick Corbin on the mound. And boy, watching Patrick pitch this year has been a whole lot of fun. I don't know if you've seen Joey Lucchese, the starter for the Padres tomorrow, but he's been outstanding. He's 2-0 with a 1.66 ERA. He's got a really sort of goofy windup, but he's been tremendously effective so far. Center field right at Margot. And Yates works a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the 9th at 6-2 D-backs. A.J. Pollock back in the lineup after that outfield collision and a night off last night. Our Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing, cool plays of the game. A solo homer in the third and an RBI single in the seventh.
And if that right hand is bothering him, it sure didn't show tonight. A long opposite field home run and then followed up the Goldie RBI triple with an RBI base hit of his own.
Now we hit the ninth. D-backs with a 6-2 lead. TJ McFarland out there to get the final 6 outs after a 1-2-3-8. He'll face Franchi Cordero, Freddie Galvis, and Carlos Asuaje due up for San Diego as the D-backs look to even this series at a game apiece, with Corbin going here tomorrow. Cordero, another good day. 2-run double, a walk, and a base hit.
Oh, sure. I picked Mookie Betts in my Beat the Streak tonight. Sean Manaea has thrown a no-hitter against the Red Sox in Oakland.
Oh, I got him on my other thing. They're in the 7th inning. It's 3-0 A's. Little squib shot. Marrero charges. Cordero can really run, and they just do get him. Devin Marrero continues to play a tremendous defense at third.
Much like Nick Ahmed, very quick making the exchange from the glove into the throwing hand and then wastes no steps to get that ball across the diamond. He knows the speed of Cordero at the plate. He knew he had to hurry, got a lot on that off balance throw.
Freddie Galvis, the Padres shortstop, 0 for 3 and just 1 for his last 21 at the plate. D-backs have already won their first 6 series to start the year, extending their club record. A win tonight and again tomorrow with Corbin on the mound would make it 7-0 to start the year. Headed toward the seats at out of play. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Joey Lucchesi, this is a guy who, the left-hander, has been very good for the Padres. Patrick Corbin, not a bad lefty either. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. A 1:10 start right here on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs live pregame show at 12:30. So we'll see you again tomorrow. After that, we're on a plane to Philadelphia. Don't forget to pack your coat and tie.
Oh, I've already packed.
See, that's a veteran move right there. Pack the night before. Off the mound, just by Marte and into center. A 1-out single for Galvis.
I hope Catel's okay. He really landed awkwardly out there on that diving attempt. Hard ground ball up the middle of the field. He thought he could get there. Sometimes you get your body in a bad position when you really extend trying to make a play. Came down really hard on that left side, left hip.
Yeah, that hurt. He's still trying to shake it off as Carlos Asuaje steps in. He's singled twice, 2 for 3. McFarland gets the last 6 outs. The D-backs get 6 runs and they even the series in a game apiece.
Nice bounce back game tonight after one that got a little sloppy last night towards the end of the ball game. Diamondbacks very clean tonight defensively, got just enough hitting when they needed it the most.
And they didn't need Archie Bradley on his bobblehead night. Yoshi, Archie, and Boxberger all get the night off at the back end of the bullpen. And the D-backs have even the series with Corbin on the mound tomorrow. Back with much more. Jody and Gracie standing by at Chase Field. D-backs win it 6-2.